We got a few company in here. Where are you from? Where are you from?
Originally from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka? Oh, you're from Sri Lanka. Oh, that's good. Sri Lanka is a place of the Buddha. So we just chanted Namo Tassa, and we chanted, you know better than I. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. And maybe there's one that you may not know. That is Om Mani Padme Hum. That is the Mahayana mantra. And maybe we should talk about it. Om Mani Padme Hum. What does that mean? Because we've been chanting it. Om, O-M, Om. Om is the mother of all sound. It's the origin of everything. It's the mother of all sound. It's the most auspicious sound. It's the Buddha's sound. It's the Bodhisattva's sound. Om, that means listen. Here comes the most powerful mantra, the most gracious and the most saintly sound. Om, so we say Om. That is very mystical, very profound. Padme, it means lotus flower. Padme, Om Mani. But before Mani, we have Om Mani, M-A-N-I, Mani. What does Mani mean? Mani means, it's Sanskrit. It's more or less the same as Pali. Sanskrit and Pali, they are quite close. So Mani, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani. Mani, that means, Om is listen. Mani, that means there is something very precious in you. Mani means the most valuable, the most precious in you, not anywhere else. Do you know that you have the most precious? I don't know what do you call that? The most precious. You can call it a diamond, you can call it treasure, but you have something in you that the Buddha said, that is the most precious. And the Buddha just give you one word, Mani. Mani is diamond. What is more precious than diamond on earth? Diamond is the most valuable, but you have the most valuable in you. That's what the Buddha said. And what is that? What is the most precious in you? That is your Buddha nature. You have that nature to be the Buddha. You can be the Buddha. You can be the Arhat. That's in you, Om Mani. That means the Buddha said, you are the most valuable. You have that nature in you. And we call it, how do we call it? We have to call it something. We call it Mani. Om Mani. Padme. What is Padme? Padme means lotus flower. What does lotus flower mean to you? Purification. It's the most purified. It's one purity. And how purified it is? A lotus is grown from the mud. Mud symbolizes the worlds of suffering, the world of mental afflictions, the world of greediness, hatred, jealousy, disappointment, depression, all kinds of mental afflictions. That's the world, that's the mud. But the flower, the lotus flower, is able to grow out of it. It's detached from it. It's growing out of it. And the Buddha said, you're like a lotus flower. If you know that you have that Buddha nature, if you follow the Buddha's practice, you purify yourself. Looking for purification. How do you purify yourself? You purify yourself through three means, three ways. You purify yourself through the body, your behavior. Usually, what do we do? Usually, what is our behavior? When we do something wrong, what does that entail? When the body does something wrong, your behavior is wrong, you will be committing what? You'll be committing bad deeds like killing, like sexual misconduct, like stealing. You could be doing all kinds of bad behavior. But the Buddha said, purify your behavior. Abstain from stealing. Abstain from sexual misconduct. Abstain from being greedy. So the Buddha said, when you want to purify yourself, you purify through 3 means. Your behavior, the body, your behavior. The next purification is your speech. Through the mouth, the speech. Your mouth can lie, you curse, you lie, you use flattery language, you be tattling people, criticizing people without reasons. So you are doing a lot of bad deeds through the speech, so you have to purify your speech. And what is the most important? Purify yourself through the mind. That's why we're meditating. So that's why I said it's very meaningful on the first day of the new year that you are coming to hear on your agenda of purifying yourself. That's the most gracious, the most auspicious, the most prosperous. And it's the most demanding too. So you said, we chant Om Mani Padme. So Om, that means listen. Here is the most important message. Padme, you have that Buddha nature in you. You have to do it by purifying yourself. Home, what does home mean? Home, that means every utterance of that mantra is planting a Bodhi seed in your mind. It's planting the most auspicious seed in your mind. That is a very important seed that is planted for every utterance of the mantra. So every utterance is Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. A seed is planted in you. So, isn't that the most meaningful for the first morning of the January, of the new year? So that's what we've been doing. We chant that mantra. Okay, let's continue. Given an introduction, let's continue with what we've got last time. We've been talking about the 9 stages of mental development in meditation. Why do we meditate? Meditate is not just sitting there and relaxing. People say, I go into the temple and then I meditate, I relax myself. I've been under pressure. I work too much. Or I go to party too much. I enjoy myself too much. I have been going through all the sensual pleasures too much. Now I better abstain myself from all that and go to a quiet place, go to a temple and sit in there and meditate and relax myself and free myself of all pressure. That is not the main idea of meditation. The idea of meditation is not just for relaxation. Meditation is not passively sitting there and doing nothing. Meditation is to work on your mind. Work on your mind. So we have 9 methods, 9 stages of meditation. How important is meditation? Why do I have to work on my mind? What is the most important in you? What control your behavior? What control your speech? What control your thinking? What is that control all that? Is your mind. And the Buddha said, you can use your mind, train your mind to become the Buddha. If you don't train your mind, you let your mind go astray, you will do a lot of bad deeds and you will suffer. You will suffer from all the bad deeds that you will be doing. You will suffer from all the bad deeds that you have done. Because for everything there is causality. Whenever you make a cause, there will be an effect to it. Causality, we call it. A cause, an effect. There is no effect without cause. Causality, we call it. So if we meditate, we train our own mind, and meditation is for the spiritual odyssey. It's for someone who wants to be the Buddha. How does it help me in my daily life? How does it help me? I'm a student. Why do I have to meditate? I'm a housewife. Why do I have to meditate? I'm a businessman. I'm a worker. I'm employed by a company. How does meditation help me? Meditation helps your mind. If your mind is healthy, if your mind is strong, you will be successful in everything you do. If you're a student and you train your mind, you will pass all examinations. You'll be an A student. Why? Because when you're meditating, you're training your concentration. Why did students fail? Because they cannot concentrate in their studies. If you can concentrate, you'll pass all examinations with flying colors. You get a score an A all the time. You'll be a very successful student in your high school, in your universities. And if you are employed by a company, if you always have concentration, you concentrate in your work, you will achieve fantastic effects. You do a good job. You will do a fantastic job. You get all kinds of promotion because of your work, of your efforts. So wherever you are, whoever you are a housewife, you need a good mind, right? A mind that can look after the house, look after your family. A mind that will be kind to your children, kind to your husband, kind to your in-laws. A mind that will be helpful for the family. And if you're both housewife and a worker, training your mind will be the most helpful to you because you can free yourself of all pressures. When you're in suffering, you have that strong will to endure the suffering. When you come across mental afflictions, you have that strong will to eliminate mental afflictions. When you come across unpleasant encounterment, then you know how to eliminate your mental afflictions. So that's extremely important. So that's why we learn meditation. In the first stage of meditation, we said, just a very fast review, we have the first stage is mental placement. Mental placement, that means you gear all your thought internally to one object of attention. You place your mind in peace. You place your mind, because our mind have been wandering in every direction. Now when we're meditating, we pull our mind into one object of concentration. You place your mind, we call it mental placement. The most important is you must know how to place your mind. We call it mental placement. Do you have that piece of paper? Everybody have that piece of paper that we've been talking about? So you need that to know the different stages in the summary. So we have mental placement. A mental placement is to create an object of attention for you. In daily life, our objects of attention are numerous. All these are objects of my attention in daily lives. Now we want to simplify our objects of attention into one object, and that is the breath. In and out breath. Simplified it, so we concentrate on the nose tip, the in and out breath. That is very important. Because you're training your mind to gear your mind from all these attractions and enticements to one object. And that's the object of attention, which is your object of attention. So that we call mental placement. And then, once we have that object of attention, the next is continuous placement. That means my attention will be continuously on it. If I have distraction, I won't be led away by my distraction. I'll come back to that attention. So you're meditating on your breath, your in and out breath. You visualize your in and out breath. And then on the next second, you think about something else. You think about your family, your job, your party. You think about making a phone call. You can think about numerous other thoughts. You stop. That thought has to be continuous. The first thought must continue to the second thought, must continue to the third thought, and all these is continuously the same. Can you do that? Extremely difficult. A 5-year-old may be able to do that for a few seconds. An 80-year-old may not be able to do that for a few seconds. In other words, this continuous thought, continuous placement is very important. So the first one is turn internally to have the object of attention. The second is to maintain that thought continuously without distraction. The third is correcting placement, or we call it patch placement. Correcting placement is what? So when your thought is being led away, you're distracted, you correct it. You bring your thought back. Close placements, that means you are able to correct it so that you're very close to your attention, your object of attention. It's not too far away. In other words, your distraction comes up, it pulls you away, it won't pull you away for too far. Just your distraction pull you away and it's not going too far, you can pull it back. It's so close to you. You're getting better and better. Your distraction is not too far away now. It's close placement. That is the fourth. The fifth is taming. Taming entails one more thing. When you are doing all these, you have to think about the benefits of meditation. The power of the mind. If you are doing all this, you have to encourage yourself. I have to continue doing it. Am I doing it for nothing? Why do I have to place my mind into one object of attention? Why do I have to be continuously doing that? Why do I have to correct it? And why do I have to make my distraction not too far away and make it close? Why am I doing all that? You have to think about, I'm on my way to enlightenment. I'm on my way to better my mind, make my mind healthier. I'm on my way to have more concentration. I'm on my way to success because I'm training my mind. Now, what happened? Does it only help you spiritually? It helps you in your everyday life because you have that strong will to do whatever you want to do. Whatever the mind can conceive, the mind can do. That's what positive thinkers talk about in North America, apart from the spiritual concept. If your mind is strong, you can do almost anything in the world. If your mind is fixed on doing good things, if you're a scientist, you're fixed on a discovery, like Thomas Edison, you discover it. You'll be a very successful scientist. If you're a bad politician, thinking about occupying another country, destroying another race, like, for example, Hitler, you're so strong on it, your willpower is so strong, you'll be successful in doing bad things. So it's in two ways. Which way you prefer? Which way do you prefer? The Buddha has his mind on Buddhahood, on enlightenment, and he became a historical Buddha who obtained complete enlightenment. The demon have chosen a different path. Mara has chosen a different path. So whatever you want to choose. So taming, you have to think about the benefits of it. Why are you doing it? So that is taming. You add the aspect of benefits to it, confidence to it, and faith to it in your process of vigilance, in your process of controlling your mind. So that is the sixth stage. Remember the fifth stage is to reinforce yourself with confidence and faith. How many people would meditate for half an hour per day? Not many. Maybe 1 in 10,000 meditate half an hour per day. But how many people would talk on the phone for half an hour per day? Billions of people would talk on the phone on unnecessary stuff for half an hour. Or billions of people would watch crazy television programs for 1 hour. And they won't spend 15 minutes on reinforcing themselves, making them stronger in their mind, on meditation. They won't spend the time on that. They spend their time on something else. And that's what we call ignorance. If a student can spend just 15 minutes and sit there and meditate, he will be an A student. So if you're a student, would you follow that instructions? You can follow that instructions and you'll be a good student. Okay, the sixth is pacification. Now you have pacification. You look at that piece of paper that you've got in there, pacification. What usually in the previous stages is our senses, our 5 senses that interact with the outside objects. And those are crude objects. Now, for example, if I'm meditating in here, and I may be opening my eyes and I see matters. I see all kinds of color, I can see all kinds of forms. I interact to what I see. And my ears interact to sound. My nose interacts to fragrance. My taste, my tongue interacts to taste, and my body interacts to touch. And this is a crude interaction. Now pacification means you are going deeper, more refined interaction. You're going to the 6th consciousness, the mano consciousness, and put it under pacification. And that 6th consciousness, what does your 6th consciousness do to you? The 6th consciousness. All these other senses, the 5 senses, are the outdoor, the front-end salesman of your body. Your front-end salesman, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your tongue, your body. These are the front end, but there's one manager there, sitting at the back of the counter. It is that consciousness manager that controls all the senses. That is the 6th consciousness. We call it the mano consciousness. That mano consciousness is more powerful than your eyes, your nose, your ear, your tongue, your body. Because that consciousness can what? Reflect to the past, look for the future, and feel the present. That consciousness, the 6th consciousness, can think about past events of many, many years ago, or even past lives sometimes. And that consciousness that manager sitting right behind the counter, right at the back of the room, not the salesman, he can look at all the records, the past records, and he can be projecting budgets for the future records, and he's also supervising the present salesman. It's very powerful. That is your 6th consciousness. Your 6th consciousness, think about the past, absorb in good events of the past, and hate bad events of the past, worry about the future. That 6th consciousness is doing all kinds of things to make you happy and make you unhappy. And now in pacification, you are putting that manager under control. That inner manager, not just the senses, not just the salesman. The salesmen are already under your control in the first 5 stages. You already have the salesman under your control. What are those salesmen? The eyes salesman, the nose salesman, the ears salesman, the tongue salesman, the body salesman. Because they are under your control. You train them. Now you're training the manager at the back who controls everything, who thinks about the past, who worries about the future, who is working at the present. And here's the most powerful. How do you control your manager? We'll do it next time.